Something's off. It's that feeling you get after a conversation where you just feel wrong. Maybe someone's twisted your words, or maybe you've caught yourself questioning your own reality. You replay the interaction in your mind, asking yourself, did I overreact? Was I being too sensitive? And even when you know you weren't, the doubt still lingers. You start wondering if your memory's faulty or if you're just being irrational. You get frustrated, but you can't put your finger on why. And that's when it hits you. This is gaslighting. And here's the thing. If you're a guy, chances are you've fallen for it more than you think. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, this sounds like a typical drama series moment, hear me out. We've all seen those movies where the manipulative partner tries to convince someone they're crazy. That's the loud, obvious version of gaslighting. But it doesn't always look like that. In real life, it's sneaky. It's subtle. It's your friend brushing off your concerns by saying, bro, stop overthinking it. It's your boss telling you that you just need to manage your time better when you're already drowning in work. It's your own internal voice telling you to just toughen up and stop being so emotional. But here's the kicker. Men are especially vulnerable to gaslighting because of how society trains us to think about our emotions. We've been raised with this idea that we should be logical, unemotional, strong. Essentially, that being a man means suppressing feelings and ignoring our emotional gut checks. The message we get is that emotions make us weak or irrational, that we should focus on facts and not feelings. So when someone starts playing with your reality, twisting the truth, downplaying your emotions, dismissing your feelings, most of the time, you don't even recognize it as manipulation. You just think, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I am being dramatic. That's the danger. Gaslighting works best when you already doubt your own emotional responses. And for a lot of men, that's already been set up before we even realize it. But it's not your fault. It's something that's been ingrained in us from the very beginning. Think about it. How many times have you heard phrases like, don't be soft, man up, or stop being so sensitive? These messages are drilled into us as kids, and they follow us well into adulthood. We learn to bottle things up, to keep a stoic face, to never let our guard down. But here's the truth. Gaslighting doesn't just affect your ability to trust others. It messes with your ability to trust yourself. It makes you second-guess your instincts, and when that happens, you lose control of your own reality. I can tell you from personal experience, this isn't some abstract concept. I've lived it. There have been times when I've stayed in relationships or friendships that drained me, not because I didn't know better, but because I'd been convinced that my feelings weren't valid. Maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe I was reading too much into it. I'd convinced myself that I was just overthinking, that I needed to toughen up or just let it go. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I just couldn't pinpoint it. And the worst part? The more I stayed in those situations, the more my confidence in myself started to crumble. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't like I was in some terrible toxic relationship. It was just that slow, creeping doubt that kept me questioning my every move. I remember one time, a friend of mine kept making jokes at my expense. At first it was funny, but then it started feeling a little uncomfortable. It wasn't the harmless teasing anymore. It was crossing a line, and I felt it. But whenever I would bring it up, he'd laugh it off and say, "You're just too sensitive, man. It's just a joke." And for a while, I just accepted that. I told myself I was overreacting. I brushed it off as nothing. But it started to eat away at me, and I didn't even realize how much until I found myself avoiding him. I didn't want to confront it because I was afraid of looking weak or emotional. That was the gaslighting. It wasn't a huge confrontation. It was just little things, over and over again, making me question myself. And here's the thing. You're probably doing it too. You're probably letting people get away with things that make you uncomfortable because you're too afraid to confront them. You tell yourself that it's not a big deal. You convince yourself that you're just being sensitive, that it's your fault for reading too much into it. But here's the harsh truth. You're not overreacting. You're not crazy. You're just human. And humans have emotions. And emotions are valid. Period. This isn't just a personal story. This is a widespread issue. Studies have shown that men are often the least likely to recognize psychological abuse, even when it's happening directly to them. There was a study in the early 2000s that found men tend to dismiss emotional manipulation and psychological abuse far more than women do. The reasons are complex, but a big part of it is how we're conditioned to process emotions. We're taught to bottle things up, to push through pain, to ignore the mental and emotional red flags that pop up. We don't talk about it. We don't confront it. And as a result, we fall prey to it more often than we realize. But it doesn't have to be this way. The first step in breaking free from gaslighting is recognizing it for what it is. You've got to start trusting your gut again. You've got to stop second-guessing your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. If someone is making you feel small, insecure, or questioning your own memory, that's not okay. It's easy to dismiss those feelings and tell yourself you're being dramatic. It's easy to say, it's no big deal, but that's exactly what gaslighting wants you to believe. It's not about big, obvious betrayals. It's about the subtle, everyday manipulations that make you feel like you're losing yourself. So, what do you do about it? Well, the first thing is to stop pretending it's not a problem. Start paying attention to your feelings and reactions. If you notice yourself apologizing when you haven't done anything wrong, or if you catch yourself downplaying your emotions to keep the peace, that's a huge red flag. Stop brushing off the discomfort you feel in certain situations. Start owning your feelings and acknowledging that they matter. It's not about being emotional for the sake of it. It's about being honest with yourself. Don't let anyone tell you that your feelings are invalid. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're a person, and you have the right to feel what you feel. Next, you need to develop better boundaries. If someone crosses a line, call it out. If someone tries to make you feel small, stand your ground. It's not about being confrontational for the sake of it. It's about respecting yourself enough to not let anyone treat you like you don't matter. Gaslighting thrives when you let people rewrite your reality. Don't let them. But here's where things get uncomfortable. You'll have to make tough choices. Some friendships will fall apart. Some relationships will crack. People who benefit from manipulating you won't like it when you start standing up for yourself. They might call you dramatic, too sensitive, or worse. But that's a part of the process. The truth is, you can't keep everything. Not every relationship is worth preserving. And if something is draining you, if someone is constantly making you doubt your own thoughts and feelings, it's time to cut it out. You can't keep giving yourself to people who don't respect you. It's not an easy decision, but it's the only way to take control of your own reality. And here's the real challenge. Ask yourself, are you really trying? Are you truly making the effort to protect your mental and emotional health? Or are you just dabbling in self-improvement, only to fall back into old habits when things get tough? It's time to be brutally honest with yourself. No one else can do this for you. You have to make the decision to stop accepting gaslighting in your life. You have to be the one to say, enough is enough. So, here's the question. Are you in? Are you ready to stop letting people manipulate you into doubting yourself? Or are we going to have this same conversation next year, when you're still stuck in the same toxic cycle, still questioning your own reality? The choice is yours, but you can't keep pretending it doesn't matter. Gaslighting will only work if you let it. So, are you ready to break free?